Alrighty, folks, good evening. We're going to start in about 3 or 4 minutes. You can still talk. We have about 3 or 4 minutes and we'll get started right on time, 8 o'clock. Who votes for a 6:30 meeting next year? All right, give us a few minutes. All right, I think we can get started. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you tonight. I know everybody here, pretty much everybody here, but my name is Craig Spina. I'm the general manager and have been for almost 20 years now, and it's been a true pleasure. So the agenda tonight, you'll hear from our club president, Michael Karts. You'll hear from our treasurer, Trudy Cleos. We're going to do it a little different tonight, though. We're going to open the floor for general Q&A after that report. Then the board will go down to the boardroom for an organizational meeting, and then we're going to have a presentation of the clubhouse proposed renovation conceptuals high level. Fantastic voter turnout, almost 700 people. A big thank you to Catherine Torino. And a big thank you to our Get Out and Vote committee. Thank you very much. You did a great job. I think our goal was at least 700, but we got awful close to it. As one of our board members stated last year, no heart beats stronger than a dedicated volunteer. I would like to recognize the board candidates who did not get elected, but took the time, the effort, and we're extremely thankful for those efforts. Paul Chaldisky. Paul, thank you. Rich Marin, thank you, Rich. And Doris Mascarella, thank you very much. And I think that I have had the wonderful opportunity to work with over 40 board members since I've been at Glen Eagles for almost 20 years. And the support that I get, what I hear from my fellow members at other clubs and the support that they get, I'm very thankful to work with these people. I would like to thank outgoing President Michael Karts. Secretary Dee Dee Marks. Where's Mr. Marks? Stand up, Mr. Marks. Where are you? Stand up, Mr. Marks. And Ken Barish. Mr. Barish. I'm extremely grateful for the guidance that I've received with the board. And at this time, I would like to present Michael Karts for a state of the club. And again, stick around. We're going to hear from Mr. Cards, Mrs. Cleo's, and then we're going to go into a high-level conceptual, which I think is very exciting. I think you'll enjoy. So thank you very much.
I have to take this down to my level now, so. Well, welcome everybody. It looks like a really great crowd here, and I don't know, maybe we have them on YouTube, but I'm sure we're going to have a couple hundred more there. So, welcome. And first thing I want to do is thank Dee Dee Marks and Ken Barish. I've been with them for 6 years. I've been on the board, and I don't know what to do without them now. So. Okay, the first thing here is I want to introduce the board members, the new board members, and the returning board members. The re-elected members were Roger Padover, and then Barbara Moss, and the new members were Jennifer Feinerman, Michael Wasserman, and Mark Goldberg, and Vince Kavanaugh, who comes with a lot of experience from the past. The next group are the ones that weren't up for re-election. They're up next year, I believe. Anyway, it's Greg Benson, Rios, who you'll be hearing from later. Richard Feldman. Art Cohen. And Gene Horowitz. So one of the next tasks here is to give you the state of the Glen Eagles Country Club. And first I want to start off with the fact that the Sun Sentinel named Glen Eagles Country Club the South Florida Top Workplace. So in other words, they sent out surveys to employees of the various companies, and we won it. And the employees love it, and we love them too. Secondly, we're in the finalist group of the best private golf course by the Palm Beach coast. Okay, so I've been on the board for 6 years along with Dee Dee and Ken. So I'm going to go over things that have happened in the last 6 years. You'll be amazed how much has happened. The community maintenance facility was redesigned and renovated. It benefits the club by improving the efficiency of the community and the golf course maintenance, along with improving on-site storage. This has reduced the off-site storage costs that we've been maintaining for many years. So we now have it on site and it saved us money. It's, I got to tell you one thing, Mr. Spina is always trying to save us money, constantly. Sometimes it's hard to get him to spend. Okay, and the other things we've done is we did the redesign of the grill room, which is probably one of our most popular places to go, especially the bar. Then we renovated all the satellite clubhouses. And this helped also save a lot of money because we did a lot of the swimming pools too that were running an awful lot of extra costs at this point. We guided the club through the COVID-19, which was a very difficult thing to do. We had the least amount of cases and only, I believe, one death out of the whole club at that point. So another great thing we did was the renovation of the Victory Golf Course, which seems to be one of the more popular courses now of the two that we have. So I managed to not put the ball in the water when I had to hit the first shot, so that was a good omen. We formed an insurance committee, and along with Carolina Jimenez, who is our HR director, We reviewed, evaluated, and ultimately changed our property and casualty insurance, employee health benefits insurance, and also the workman's comp insurance. This resulted in a savings for Glen Eagles to almost $300,000. That's a big return for members. It also improved the overall coverage, which is unique to get a lower price and better coverage. And the insurance and health benefits, the employees seem to really like it at this point. So I'm pretty happy that all these things came together for this period of time. And one other thing we did was everybody's not got used to the change in the name, but the Hall of Champions, which used to be the multi-purpose room. We built a wall of honor, which is 45 feet long. We had a lot of honor here. So we have the golf and tennis history, which includes golf and tennis professionals that lived and played here at Glen Eagles when we first started opening up and made a pretty big impact on the club. We've proudly put on exposition the Glen Eagles Country Club golf, tennis, pickleball, accomplishments, and the associated trophies. So the people who won all those things, their names will be up there at least for a year. So the club champions, both men and women, will be up there until we fill up the trophy. And we also have at the one end, we have all the clubhouse staff that have both their names and the years of service that they've been with us. And they start from 10 years and go to 35 years. And it's full. That whole room is full. And they enjoy working here, and we enjoy having them also. We have also at the other end, and the section which is dedicated to the Board of Governors of the past and future. And it has all the names of past governors, past presidents. I like to call them former presidents because, you know. So this is a system that we should be proud of, because if you don't know much about Glen Eagles, go there, you'll see it all. So, and one of the big things that has happened really over the last couple of years is a phenomenal increase in social activities, thanks to Tammy Klein and her creativeness. And record membership participation is we can hardly keep up. So I'm glad everybody's enjoying all this. One other thing here that doesn't get recognized very often is I recognize the Club Security Services. This is our Cambridge security here. It's led by Tom West, who does an amazing job. I have some interesting numbers that you might be interested in. There was 158 slip and falls that they responded to. 261 911 medical responses that they dealt with. 84 resident assistance. 93 fire responses, usually just the fire alarms were bad, but had one. And 12 car accidents. So, and the real interesting numbers here are, we have had 373,349 resident lane entries in 1 year. That's a lot of activity coming in and out of our gates. And 221,292 guest lane entries. And only 761 denied entries. So those are big numbers. So those guys are working hard all the time. And but the most important part of this is that there was 0 burglary and thefts in our club. So something to be proud of, and definitely an envy of a lot of the other clubs that have been hit around this area, so. So what I want to do is give a thanks to a lot of our staff, and there's most of them, you'll know the names and know who they are, but there's a lot of people who work behind the scenes that you may not recognize. So first one you'll definitely recognize, and that's Mr. Craig Spina, the COO, exceptional leadership and management. As far as I'm concerned, the best of the best. And Catherine Torino. She was an amazing office manager. She is the best information center and one of the best investigative sleuths I've known. If I ever wanted to find out something, I just ask her and she comes back with the answers. So it's great. And then also sitting over next to her is Harvey Grunwald, our CFO. And he has an amazing group of professionals that keep our financials in great order. All you have to do is ask him anything and he has the answer within a few seconds. So he's pretty sharp. Reagan Samiego for his great leadership, not only in the food and beverage, but in his new role as the clubhouse manager. The other is Kristen Lariah. For her expertise in leadership and membership marketing, and also in her new role as clubhouse manager. Also with her, working with her is Mallory Roche and Randy Spencer, who are our membership specialists. We have, let's see, Kim Fonacier, Assistant Director of Food and Beverage, who has brought so many amazing new dining experiences, wines, many things for our membership to enjoy, and they're usually sold out. Another person who returned to us, Jason Forrestal. He's the Director of Hospitality, and he's second to none and brings enjoyment to everybody he talks to. He's just fun to be around. And then we have the infamous Joe Domino. He has an amazing team of golf pros and merchandising people, and he's just got an amazing staff down there, and it's fantastic. So, and then the other part of that is Jason Bagwell, the Director of Golf Course Maintenance. And he has a team of maintenance experts who take care of the fabulous golf courses and just make it an enjoyable experience to play golf. So thank you very much, Jason. It's a hard work, I know. So, and then we have Mike Puck, the Director of Practice, and Scott Harper, the Director of Pickleball, which has become quite the great sport here, and all their exceptional staff too. Then we have Karen Mikas, Director of Healthy Lifestyle Center, on the team of trainers, professionals, instructors. Big job. She works very hard. She's even put together specialty programs to help people with cancer, with heart diseases, and many other things. So it's a great program that she's got together. Now, some of the people that, well, let's first go to the chef, because we all like to eat. I know I'm an 18 handicapper golfer, but I'm a 0 handicap eater. So, Chef Chris Reichert. And we have our executive sous chef, Kelly Green. And our sous chef, Joseph Bean. And the entire culinary team. And to remind everybody, Chef Chris is one of the top 40 under 40 chefs in Florida. So he's very accomplished. Some people that you don't always see all the time that work behind the scenes too, that do all the wonderful things, is Sandra Espinal for our catering and special event stuff. And also Amanda Perez, who works with her very close. I know you probably don't see her very often, so. Then, of course, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again, Tammy Klein, social director. And she's very popular and does a phenomenal job with creating new events for us. And the Rock on the Rage was really good this last one. So, and David James is a community operations director and takes care of a lot of things in the community. And Gene Duray and his amazing housekeeping staff. And Franz, of course, Mias. I don't know, I probably didn't pronounce that properly, but community area maintenance, and his team is what keeps this place beautiful outside. And I'm sure he's here somewhere, but Scott Charisma, he's the IT director, and his assistant Jamie. They help us stay connected to each other and also to the world. So, and then, as I said before, Tom West from our security director. Okay, towards the end, here's my final things I have to say. I want to thank every member of this Board of Governors for all of their dedication and support as I served 3 years as the treasurer, 1 year as executive vice president, and especially over the last 2 years while I was the president. They've been amazing, and I wish you all great success and hope that as a new Board of Governors, that you all enjoy being part of this body as much as I have. Thank you. And some parts from that whole process, I want to thank Steve Woke, who's sitting over here, who was the president when I won my first position on the board. And in having faith in me as he helped me start as the treasurer. And then I also want to thank Debbie Benson, I know she's here too, for her leadership and guidance as president. And Dan Cobler also. Thank you. I had great mentors in the process of getting here, so I wanted to thank them all. And let's see. I can't conclude without thanking my lovely and caring wife, Catherine, for her unwavering support over the past 10 years. She didn't get to see me much. Maybe that was a good thing, I don't know. With the budget and finance and the Board of Governors. Now, she never once stopped supporting me, even during her battle with cancer, because she also loves this club like I do. And we all will miss almost standing up here and talking to you. Okay. So thank you. And I'm going to turn this now over to Trudy Cleos to do the financial state of Glen Eagles. And I'm sure you'll be pleased.
Thank you, Mike, and good evening. I will be presenting my treasurer's report for the fiscal year November 1st, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. Glen Eagles Country Club is financially sound. An audit of our financial records for the last fiscal year has been performed by our outside auditing firm, RSM US LLP, a firm that specializes in auditing country clubs, including 100 clubs in the state of Florida. We expect to receive their independent auditor's report next month. A copy of the financial report will be made available to all members once it is received. While we have not yet seen this report, we believe that the audit evidence they obtained was sufficient to provide a basis for their audit opinion, which once again should read in their opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respect the financial position of Glen Eagles Country Club, Inc. as of October 31st, 2023 and 2024, and changes in its owner's equity and its cash flows for the years ended in accordance with U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. For the November 1st, 2023 to October 31st, 2024 fiscal year, our club performed well against budget. We ended the fiscal year with a favorable variance of $403,666 against the operational budget. A significant factor contributing to that favorable outcome was $137,168 food and beverage covers, which was 7,999 covers more than budgeted. In the last fiscal year, there was only 4 members suspended due to financial delinquency. As of today, there are 2 suspended members due to financial delinquency. Gleneagles does not currently own any units. The second component of our budget is capital expenditures. These expenses were $297,984, less than a budget of $2,249,137 because of postponement of some projects for various reasons and reallocation of some expenses. Gleneagles spent $1,951,453 on the budgeted capital items. During the 2023-2024 fiscal year, Gleneagles negotiated new healthcare contracts for our employees. This contract saved Gleneagles $157,000 and resulted in more and better benefits. Also during this fiscal year, Gleneagles changed our insurance broker and has been able to negotiate property, casualty, and liability policies with enhanced coverage to Gleneagles at less cost. Sales of units to new members result in receipt of new member capital contributions, which provide funds for annual capital expenses. Last fiscal year, out of a total of 52 sales, 32 sales were to new members, resulting in $3,230,000 in new member capital contributions. I'm pleased to tell you in this fiscal year, we've had to date 16 contracts, with 13 of them being to new members, giving Gleneagles thus far $1,210,000 in new member capital contribution. The 16 contracts include 2 29-year-olds and 1 26-year-old. In addition, there are 6 new contracts that have not yet gone through the final membership process, with all being new members. The number of sales is ahead of this point in the last fiscal year. As of today, the average age of the female new member is 60.6 and the male new member is 59.3. The average age of female sellers is 81.4 and male sellers is 81.1. As Gleneagles Country Club has no new golf or tennis memberships available, we rely on our golf and tennis transfer program when a unit being purchased does not have the sports membership desired by the purchaser. To date, the golf and tennis transfer programs have resulted in 104 transfers. The tennis transfer program has had 62 transfers, and the golf transfer program has had 42 transfers. There are still 65 golf and 58 tennis members on the respective transfer lists. Both our 800 golf memberships and 600 tennis memberships are capped by our documents. These transfer programs allow our new members whose membership, These transfer programs allow our new members who purchase units that do not have a particular desired sports membership to obtain them. Equally important, it provides existing members a vehicle to step away from sports memberships they no longer utilize. In the current fiscal year that began November 1st, 2024, we have a positive variance in the operating budget of $135,658. Regarding the capital budget, we have spent $556,000 against $2,131,000 that is budgeted through January 2025. Golf rounds were 1,219 more than a budget of 18,410. These golf numbers represent 2,968 rounds better than last year. Food and beverage covers were 803 better than budget and 1,338 more than at this time last year. The club currently has 322 employees, of which 226 are full-time year-round employees, 40 are part-time, and 56 are seasonal employees. This year's payroll budget is $15,583,000. More than 59% of the full-time employees have more than 5 years of service. We have 16% of our employees with more than 20 years of service, 30 employees with more than 25 years of service, and 12 employees with more than 30 years of service. This year at the employee annual holiday party, Glen Eagles honored one employee who has 35 years of service, bringing Glen Eagles to 6 employees with more than 35 years of service. Our club also has 2 employees with 37 years of service. Glen Eagles, Glen Eagles uses Bank of America for its banking needs. As of this morning, Glen Eagles has $5,945,000 in the bank, consisting of an overnight interest-bearing account and U.S. Treasury-backed money market accounts, earning approximately 4.25%. As of December 31st, the club's property, plant, and equipment assets, after accounting for depreciation, total a little over $34 million. In addition, Glen Eagles has a $2 million line of credit available should the need arise. We have a beautiful Victory Golf Course that officially opened in January of 2024, and a new tennis pickleball complex that will be completed very soon. These projects were funded by replacing new member capital contributions that were advanced for the community maintenance facility, the veranda renovation, and certain other capital projects with the proceeds of a $10 million loan. That loan has been negotiated with Bank of America several years ago with a favorable interest rate of 2.83%. And interest only is due until April of 2025. Pursuant to the terms of the loan, it had to be drawn down by March of 2023. Interest only is due on the loan until April 2025, followed by a 10-year payoff of principal and interest. By structuring the loan in this manner, payment of the principal in addition to interest would not be due before the existing loan for the 2014 clubhouse renovation is retired. The loan for the 2014 clubhouse renovation was retired last month. Both the Victory Golf Course and the tennis pickleball complex did not require financial assessments to our members. As of today, Glen Eagles has $3,489,000 in an outstanding loan for the Healthy Lifestyle Center, and for the Community Maintenance Center, an outstanding loan of $10,000. Every year during the off-season, management constructs a proposed operating budget for the next fiscal year, having each department start with a zero base and then build a budget. All departments' proposed budgets are combined into a proposed budget for the club. Capital expenses are done separately and included separately as part of the proposed budget. In late September or early October, there is a meeting that lasts for 2 to 3 days where department heads present their proposed budget to both the Budget and Finance Committee and the Board of Governors. These presentations were available for live streaming on YouTube for the entire membership to view. Following these presentations, the Budget and Finance Committee meets to consider the proposed budget and make any recommendations to the board to change the proposed budget. At the October board meeting, each recommendation from the Budget and Finance Committee is considered by the board and either accepted, modified, or not accepted. Also, any additional change proposed by governors at the October board meeting are considered and voted on. Finally, approval of the budget with accepted changes for the next fiscal year is voted on by the board. This process results in a sound budget. During the fiscal year, the board considers and acts upon requests for budget deviations and financing proposals, and considers and acts on other requests with a financial component. Other than payroll, loan payments, sales tax, and 401k payments, all disbursements by Glen Eagles are presently done by check and require 2 signatures of authorized governors. These disbursements occur on a weekly basis and have supporting documentation justifying each check for the signing governors to review. We currently are working on implementing an online system to review and authorization for payments to make this an easier and more secure process for all involved. This system will utilize ACH payments instead of issuing checks, which could be subject to mail fraud. Our general manager and COO, Craig Spina, who together with his management team has the day-to-day responsibility to perform against the budget. Bi-weekly reports of food and beverage revenues and covers and club-wide payroll are provided to Craig Spina and the respective department heads. These reports are also provided to the president, executive vice president, second vice president, treasurer, and assistant treasurer of the board, as well as the chair and vice chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. This provides another check on performance against the budget and a timelier method to react to variances other than waiting for the monthly financials. There are so many to thank for the hard work that goes into ensuring our financial strength. Thank you to all the committees, my fellow governors, and Craig Spina, along with his entire management staff. Also, thank you to my fellow members for your strong support for our club. I want to express my gratitude to Harvey Grunwald, our CFO, Marie Desolo, our controller, Gloria Barreto, accounts payable, Bianca David, accounts receivable, and Carolina Jimenez, human resources. Between the 5 of them, they have over 98 years of dedication to Glen Eagles. All of their dedication has been remarkable. I would also like to thank our Budget and Finance Committee for the time and effort they put in. This includes performing internal operational audits of various departments throughout the year. Last but not least, I want to thank our Assistant Treasurer, Roger Padover, for his assistance to me in service to the club. In conclusion, Glen Eagles is financially sound and organized to ensure it remains so. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Cleos, Mr. Cards. We're going to get into Q&A. Let's stay away from this for right now. And these are just general questions. So if you have any questions for the board, by all means, if you have questions for our staff, general questions, let's open the floor. Stand up because Harvey and Kristen have microphones. We'd like you to just let us know who you are and ask the question. We prefer you not tell us a story, but let's ask questions. Looks like we have someone over there.
Hi, just curious to know if the roofs of the satellite clubs are going to be done as well.
Yes, eventually.
Does that mean within the same time as all of the rest of the club?
Not necessarily. We've started getting bids. I think it was $40,000 and change per roof, which if you multiply that by 7, it's 280,000 plus. So we will do it. It will be something we'll talk about in the next budget process, which really begins in August. They're going to look pretty shabby compared to this beautiful new satellite roof. So yes, they will be done. I cannot tell you that we are going to do them next year, but they will definitely be in the queue to get done. Yeah, it's a good question. Not everyone at once. Yes, Mrs. Cullen. Reagan will give you the microphone.
What about the sidewalks? We live in Lowland Hills Trail and they're just all chipped up and down. It's terrible.
So, well, it depends some sidewalks, the associations. If you ever see something like that, please let us know. I mean, you've seen us grinding sidewalks and painting orange marks on them, and we probably have 4 miles of sidewalks, because so you can imagine that we're not going to get to all of them. We do pressure wash them, the ones in the club, but just the easiest answer for that is if you've got a problem, you have to let us know. I'm going to tell you, it's either your sidewalk and you have to take care of it, either associations or it's the clubs. And we will do, if it's dangerous, we're going to do something, at least paint, grind it down, and then get to it. Typically, if you have a root intrusion, that's replacing the whole panel. That doesn't happen overnight. We just did a number of those recently. We've done a bunch on the golf course. So I'm not trying to dodge your question, but let us know, okay? And then we're going to let you know if it's ours or it's yours. If it's ours, we'll put a plan together. Yeah, good question. Any questions to me? All right, well, I guess we're going to let the board go to the organizational meeting, and we're going to start working on our proposal. Good job. On the front gate. No, I will look into that. It's going to look like a Z suit. I will take a look at it. All right, folks, so this is exciting. Let's listen up. It's very important. I want to try to communicate what we're doing today, because this is not a deep dive into the renovation where we're going to ask questions about the number of hot tubs in the clubhouse, or it's a general overview. Typically, traditionally, your interior design firm would come in and do a proposal, and they will come in, as will our architect and contractor. But this seemed like a great opportunity to, because I know it's out, we're talking about it, there's no reason not to be transparent. So we're going to show you some nice pictures. We're going to give you some insight. How many folks here have read or read our business plan, clubhouse renovation business plan? Folks, please, if you had any questions tonight, if you looked at that business plan, you would answer 90% of your questions. Not related to the renovation itself, but we've been working on this for 3 years. So I want you to know that we've given a lot of thought to it, demographics, but look at the business plan for, please. Secondly, we asked you to sign up for the roundtables. Tonight, we're going to have minimal questions. I can answer some, but the roundtable is the opportunity for you to be engaged in this process. I'm going to get into the presentation now because we're going to talk about that. So goal, simple. This evening presentation marks the first step in building a strong foundation for collaboration, ensuring the clubhouse renovation reflects the shared vision and priorities of our community. Objectives, simple. Present a vision of the current proposed conceptual designs of the clubhouse. Proposed, conceptual. High-level outline of the project scope and proposed improvements. We'll dig into it a little deeper, and you'll see, you'll have a good idea of what we're looking to do. Establish next steps. Extremely important for everybody sitting here and everybody in the community. Ongoing communication, strategies, and opportunities for continued community input. You will have ample opportunity to be part of the planning process, provide feedback, and offer ideas. And I was talking to some people today, and I said, consensus drives this wagon. The members are going to tell us what they like, what they don't like. You want full lockers, you want half lockers, you want a cold plunge, you don't want a cold plunge. You want a hot tub, you don't want a hot tub. We're going to talk about a lot of these things in these roundtable meetings. So please, we're starting probably next week. What you did is you signed up. We're going to give you half a dozen to a dozen dates. You're going to tell us what works for you. We want to take an hour to an hour and a half of your time. We're going to go through this presentation once again, quickly, and then we want to engage you, and we want you to talk to us and tell us. let me keep going. We're gonna get a little deeper. So clubhouse renovation business plan, please, please, please. You have an opportunity on the homepage of the website, and you also have it located under My Club on your app. You can pick it up on either of those. It's a bit of a read. It's about 40 pages and change. It's a good read. Secondly, IDDI, who is the interior design firm, met with us 3-4 times. The last presentation was a good bit of what you're going to see tonight. We have also given you an opportunity to look at this full 2-hour presentation. Their slide-by-slide presentation, a lot of questions from our renovation committee, their answers. I would encourage you, because I'm going to give you the highlights of it. If you really want to see the full presentation, same thing, website, or you're under the app under My Club. So our partners, ID and Design International, is the first time we've worked with them. If you go on their website and you look at their the work that they've done, it's extremely impressive. What we've done with them so far has been amazing. They're very, very good to work for. They're very efficient. Glen Eagles Architects, 15 years. Gary started at the North Gate. He did the community maintenance facility. He did the tennis center recently. Brill Glen, great to work with, local, extremely talented. NV5 owners representatives. We always have an owner's rep in a project this big. Was Gaudet and Associates. They're now NV5, same constituents, Jesse and Joe Gaudet. Inside Land Planner, same thing. Opened their own firm about 3-4 years ago. Worked with them. And then, of course, the renovation committee, which is about 22 members. Our leadership team, board of governors, and of course, the folks sitting here tonight, the Glen Eagles members. A firm date has not been set. Okay, I know, when are we doing it? You know, I would be foolish not to tell you that we've got some dates in mind, mid to late 2026 for phase 1, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. 8-month project. You can do the math. After that, we would go into phase 2. And a budget has not been set. I would be a fool to tell you that we don't have some ideas what the budget would be. We have the contractor, very talented, Mal Construction. They have put together a construction pricing model, soft costs. The owner's rep has worked with us. The architect has worked with us. So we've got some numbers. Prefer to get a little further along in the project, but I promise you when it's time, we will be sending a lot of information your way. How you're going to be, how you can become part of this, or how we can engage you as a membership. Town hall meetings, this isn't the only one we'll do. We'll have the architects I said earlier, we'll have the contractors, we'll have the interior design firm, our team. Roundtable discussions, probably the most important thing that you can do for yourselves and us is engage, open-ended questions. We're going to ask you questions, you're going to give us feedback. Once we get to the roundtable discussions, it's time to develop a comprehensive survey. We take all the information we glean. You know, we might get to 150 people. That leaves, 1,500 people that didn't respond yet. Survey goes out. We drill down a little deeper, pulse survey. You probably remember the brochure for all of the big projects, East Course, West Course, Clubhouse, original renovation. We typically put together the tennis center. We put together a nice brochure, pictures, let everybody see what's going on. I'm excited to move this along because this is going to be a great, regardless of what happens, it's going to be a great tool to let people know what's going on at Glen Eagles. And then digital page flip is, you've seen those, you click on the computer. Those give us the ability to do frequent updates and keep you updated to what's going on. Future discussions, obviously, is the construction costs, financing and amortization, impact on current assessments, phase 1, phase 2, and firm timelines. As soon as we get a little further along, we will be communicating those. This is part of your action item 6E is one of your strategic plan items. If you haven't looked at the strategic plan under board education, we have a lengthy strategic plan that we've started doing in about 2009. Who's seen the strategic plan? Come on, be honest. Yeah, take a look at it. It's good. that's part, this does have some dates, some timelines. Take a look at it. Definitely not in stone, but it gives you some ideas. For example, material procurement, phase 1 and 2, March 26 through 28. I know that's broad, but that's probably the term of the project. So let's go into some renderings, some conceptuals. What we don't want to emulate what the other clubs are doing, but we do. If you want to sit over here, you can. But we do want to know what our competitors are doing. Okay, so IDDI, NV5, our architects, they know what these other clubs look like. I mean, I think you folks have probably been in a lot of the clubs around. You know what they look like. Again, we want to know what our competitors are doing. We don't want to look like them, but we want to make sure that we're headed in the right direction. More importantly than that is lifestyle attributes. What that means is what makes Glen Eagle special. The culture, the warm, welcoming community, the things, the intangibles that make this place so special. IDDI came to Glen Eagles on a Wednesday night. I said, come up Wednesday night. And they ended up staying for three and a half hours and watched what happens in the lounge on a Wednesday night. And, but part of the process was to explain to them what Glen Eagles is about. Our other partners know Glen Eagles very, very well. IDDI didn't. They were extremely impressed, and they understand what we need to continue to be. So I apologize. My laser light is very hard. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh, you can. Awesome. I don't have to use this whip then. So lobby, 2,800 square feet. Legends dining room here. Buffet area. Legends lounge. And then the veranda. These are the areas that we're going to touch. So that's existing, that's proposed. Veranda, we're adding at this point about 1,000 square feet. Legends lounge about 1,076 square feet. Legend dining room, we may or may not give up about 450 square feet. You know, one of the things that's going to be extremely important for you to understand, or for us to communicate to you, is that we're going to change our business model a little bit. You know, does it mean that we can't do a Seder dinner here for 350 people? We don't know yet. These are the things that you're going to have to kind of help us out with. But we're going through logistics, seating. So phase 1, at this point, veranda kitchen, library, administrative offices. Whereas the library and administrative offices is proposed to put where the north water feature is. Where the fountain is in front of golf or the waterfall, that would go away. The offices would be on the bottom floor. The library is like it's a multi-purpose, Hall of Champions style, but it'll be a little more formal. As I get through the floor plans, you'll see how we can use it in many, many ways. Phase 2 then, portico lobby. So phase 1, why are we doing 1 and 2? 1, we want to complete this project. It gives us a dining room on the veranda that'll seat over 200 people. You have the grill in the Glen that'll seat another 200 people without any turns. You've got the ability to feed 400 people all of a sudden. Then we're proposing to close the rest of the clubhouse. The portico lobby, Legends dining room, Legends lounge, all the carton locker rooms and wet areas for men's and ladies. And then the main kitchen will get a full redo. We've been working with DEI kitchen consultants on the kitchen and revamping that. We'll have those plans fairly soon. Employee cafeteria behind the buffet area, because they basically sit in the dining room before you come in and eat dinner and lunch and have their meetings. It'll be a better place for them to, and then in between shifts, they've got somewhere to sit and do the thing. One thing that we've been talking about, don't know yet, Legends Lounge. Do we go to phase 1 with the Legends Lounge? It's an option. We don't have an answer yet, and we're not certain. So I'm giving you the reflected ceiling plan to show you. You can see this little dot here again. Okay. This is a proposed walkway from the veranda, from valet here to the veranda, covered And you'll see why Veranda is going to be its own unique standalone restaurant. It won't be, a multi-purpose room. It won't be stacked chairs or card tables or anything else. And I think when you see the design, you'll understand it. The porte cochere and can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good, great. We've extended the entry, which right now is here on these columns. The stairway that goes downstairs, okay, the elevator, okay, we've pushed it out. Great news, the stairway gets fully enclosed, no more wet stairs. The elevator's inside. I talked about the library a minute ago. You would actually have access to the library from this area, and I'm going to show you a couple other ways that you could access this. It's extremely versatile. And then here are your restrooms, here and here. You also have, I won't get too deep into wine walls. Then your entry to the Legends Lounge would be here, and to the dining room would be here. And we'll go into those a little deeper as well. That's pretty much it on the lobby and the changes. So this is the type of furnishings: woods, traditional. Not going to get any silver and light blue. You will get a little bit, but it's something that we're trying to. We're working on a concept that is about as timeless as you can imagine. And 5 years from now, we're going to have to scratch our heads and say, what do we do with this white marble and this whatever we're looking at? Existing lobby, and this is your proposed new lobby. So you've got the entry is back here. Your elevator would be back here. Your stairwell would be back here inside. Concierge here. Legends Lounge, Legends Dining Room, feature wall. A lot of other things, wine walls, things like that. I won't get too deep into it. I'm trying to give you a feel for what the lobby entry will be. Then the Legends Dining Room, one of the things that you're sitting in, obviously, and it's fairly cafeteria-like. I mean, there's nothing breaking it up. It's not multi-dimensional. It's you use it or you don't use it. You can't separate it. What we're trying to do, what we have done or proposing, is this is your chandelier room here, the one in the back. This is the area that we're kind of sitting in along with this area. And then this is where it touches the Legends Lounge. We've incorporated.
Could you go closer and use your arm? Because we can't.
Yeah, sure, I sure can.
We have no idea where it's all.
I tried 3 different pointers. Doesn't work on lit screens, I'm sorry. So, okay, I can use this. Okay, let's start over. So, Legends Dining Room, chandelier room, back where you're sitting. The middle kind of here, and then this where it touches the Legends Lounge. Right now, fixed doors. This is proposed as an air wall here, an air wall much nicer than the one that's in the waterfall room right now, but it would close, it could open. So the versatility comes in. You can close this up. You can use it as a private dining room. You can use this as a separate room. You can close this, or you can open this wall here. You can use this as one room. You can use it as the entire room. You can close off this, and you can use this. This wall here, I'll show you in a minute, is a portable wall as well that would go into the bar. So essentially, you wanted to incorporate some of the bar into this area here. This opens up. It's more of a permanent looking structure. But so you really, our goal is to be extremely versatile, multi-use of the rooms. We open it all up. The question right now is we're investigating seating, room capacities, especially in here. Seating, room capacities, logistics. How do we get to the kitchen? The things that you wouldn't think about. How do we get to the kitchen? What kind of wait station do we have? How do we make sure that we can serve your drinks in a timely manner? Those types of things we're working through. There's professionals working with DEI, the kitchen company. And we're still working through the service stations. That's where your staff get your drinks and your coffee and all that. We have one here, we have one here. I think there's probably an opportunity. Those are the restrooms we talked about earlier. You would walk in from the main entry, you would come down, you would go through, what you saw was that feature wall and that lobby entry. You would come into the dining room, or you would go left into the lounge. Same thing. These are actually the finishes, the fixtures, the FF&A that they're proposing. Current, what we're obviously sitting in now, and that would be your proposed. So, I mean, quite a bit of difference. They even figured out a way to make these big holes here somewhat attractive. These would be your walls that would close up. You wouldn't see them unless you closed them and used them. So buffet area, that's the waterfall room through here. As you know, and I'll show you in a minute, the buffets, it's what we have to live with right now. They're portable, they work fine. Don't always keep the food hot. They do keep the food cold. What we're looking at is a permanent, comprehensive structure. Good use of that pizza oven on the veranda that we never use. The stations here, salad bar, fruit bar. These are subject to change, but essentially, really elevating the buffet experience. This is some of the finishes, existing, proposed. This buffet would have a hood system, so when you walk in and they're doing the little mini burgers, and it smells like mini burgers in there. We hope to eliminate that issue with the proper hood system. Lots of cooking, ways that I believe we're going to be able to keep your food hot, keep the cold food cold. The pizza oven, back here, little pizza bar. And this is not carpet, that is tile. And I hope we don't have any carpet in the renovation, but of course you let us know what you think. Again, some of the finishes. So Legends Lounge, 32 seats at the bar. Right now, I think we're at 27, so it's bigger. We're looking at seating capacity, entertainment, and a bandstand, if it stays as is, but we're trying to incorporate the things that we know members have asked about to this point. Bandstand, dance floor, quiet options. So we talked about the library earlier. This opens up to the bar, to the lounge. So if maybe you want a quiet area, you can come in here and you can listen to the music, but not at full blast when they're over here at this point. Things like this, these are banquettes, but they're mobile. We can move them. Same thing here, same thing here. We push the bar out further. Right now you try to walk by the bar and you can't get by the bar in the window. They've made more room. The bar's rectilinear, so doesn't have that kink in it anymore. So I think it's more efficient the way it sits. Soft seating, really, really good acoustical properties. You'll see the ceiling in a minute. Keeping in mind that we need our appetizers, and so we've got a way to do that so it looks even a little nicer. And also while we're here, the library, so it opens up to the bar, to the Legends Lounge. It opens up to the exterior. So if you had a private party, we close this up and you can use this as a private party. You want to have blues night, you want to have a movie night, this can be used. It also would open up to the veranda. Now, we don't want to overwhelm our veranda, but if there's a reason why we're doing this, we would have access to the veranda, and that's currently the area that's enclosed now. So the more versatility we come up without impacting the overall project, without impacting the beauty of the project. Good news, men's, women's restroom at the entrance to the veranda. We also have 2 down here at the end of the veranda, which I'll show you in a minute. So we've added 4 more restrooms, single, 1 men's, 1 women's. But 2, I think that's a big improvement. Let's see what else. So the wood screen that I was talking about here. So if we wanted to, you wanted to incorporate, let's say just this room into the bar, you had entertainment and you kind of overflow into here as well. So you really have this, you have that. You shouldn't have to come into the bar and say, where are we going to sit? It's full and it's Wednesday night. Or we want to come in and our guests, we want to chat, but we can't hear anybody. So we're going to go sit in the dining room. These are just some of the things. If you'll attend these round tables, you're surely going to give us some more education of things. This is a perfect example. What are some of the things that you feel are important that we need to bring to the table and talk to our interior designer, the architect, contractors? So some of the finished bar, current bar, proposed bar. Food, that's the wall down by the Legends dining room. So you can keep it open, you could close it, you could open it all the way. Bar is large, wine wall is your bar access to the library would be kind of down here. And it's really neat. You can slide the walls open to the library, or you close them up and, you keep it closed, or there's a party in there or whatever. Let's see. Ceiling, acoustical, really good acoustical properties. We know how loud it gets in there. So the library, we don't have conceptuals yet, but this is kind of the feel that, double doors out to the lobby area, give you access through there. Wine wall, these are the doors that would open back up into the Legends Lounge. Restrooms, those would be finishes, the 2 that I just talked about as you enter. And then the veranda. So larger kitchen. So right now your kitchen kind of cuts off right here. And the layout right now is not good. You've got a big air conditioning in the back. You've got storage in the back. You lose a lot of functional, practical kitchen space, cooking space, prep space. So that gets a full makeover. The pizza oven, I would imagine, going to come out of there and go into the buffet area. This is that area that goes from valet into the main lobby of the veranda. This is the area that would go, so the veranda, you have access here that goes into the next room. Also, there's the access we talked about from the library. The bar seats 28 people, that's looking out over the driving range. Okay. And yes, we're looking at fixed windows and we're looking at nano walls. So you're going to tell us what you think. Private room, but it's neat because it closes with just curtains, but they have acoustical sound deadening properties. So you kind of see a sheer curtain, you're in there, you kind of have your own space, or we can open it up and we can use it. There's soft seating lounge. There's your 2 restrooms at the very end. And this is actually a stairwell from the staging area. So you get out of your cart, you walk up the stairwell and you're in the bar and the veranda. So current veranda, this is the area obviously that's outdoors. That's the proposed lobby. So that's the area you would walk in from valet. You would walk into the veranda. That's where we would greet you. And then that is the veranda. This from here back here is your car barn. That's your awning that we've hardened the structure. We build up, and then these are the windows looking out of the driving range. This will be a hot topic. It's, do we go fixed windows or do we open them up and do we have nano walls? And this consensus will drive the wagon. You'll let us know. And it's, so a couple more components to our business plan. One, I know Reagan was speaking with me today, and they've developed their staffing model for the veranda because it's clearly bigger. We're also looking at concepts. What kind of restaurant is it? Well, I don't know yet. And we need to kind of move that along because when you buy the equipment, you buy the equipment around the concept of the restaurant. So we're giving thought to that. But overall, I think ultimately it's going to be one of the more attractive places. You can have 3 venues then. You have 3 full restaurant venues. Are we going to open all 3 at the same time? I don't know, but we're going to make sure you get use of them. So downstairs, we'll go through this rather quickly. The offices I spoke about are here. So that's in the North Water Feature ground level. Somebody asked a really good question. What's going to happen when you put a ceiling roof over the water feature now, and it's going to be dark, right? Because you lost all your sunlight. There's some real creative solutions, some real good ways to improve that with lighting. We're already on it. We're looking at it. We're looking at creative solutions for lighting to make sure it doesn't look like a cave when you walk through there. You've got the men's locker room. You've got let's see. We've got ladies, men's, and then we've got card rooms. Yeah, that's it. So we'll go through each one now. So your women's card room. We did an inventory assessment of lockers. We kind of need a little more feedback, but we've taken some out. This hot tub or cold plunge goes away. And unless you're clamoring for it, I've spoken to a lot of people. Nobody was very interested in that. But okay, let's consider something else. We did give you, which are not reflected in this drawing, but we gave you 6 more card tables. Yahoo! But we took some lockers out. We have, Krista, what was the number of extra lockers? How many? 60 extras? Still. Yeah, so we took enough. We've given you still 60, give or take. That gave us room to do the extra tables. And we're looking at this area. There was a request for sauna, which is right here. Sitting area, restrooms. We have to kind of play with the showers. In the men's, we're proposing a combination of steam and shower. So if the women tell us that 3 showers is enough or 4 showers, then it's a winner. It's like going into the steam room, but you do your steam, you take a shower, and you walk out. If that doesn't work and they tell us we need 6, we regroup and we figure out the best way to approach that. Another thing, so very, very nice showers, lockers, sitting area, more spa-like, card tables, make sure we have all our snacks and all the goodies will stay. But good question, when we do these round tables, how many people want a full locker? Want basically a double locker of what you have now. If it's okay, so maybe we go, a third full, a third we retain as double lockers. Do they need to be deeper? They need to be a little wider. Do they need to be able to hold the driver in them? These are the things that we want to know so we can do it right. So here is the current, and this is just the card room I'm going to show you. We don't have conceptuals of the wet areas, things like that. But then somebody said, I don't like the carpet. I said, well, if we get enough comments that they don't like the carpet, we look at different carpet. That's the easy part. I'm looking forward to some more information on the wet areas in the locker areas. So the men's. So what we did here is we commandeered some of their card room space to increase the size of the grill kitchen. We really need more space. Doing that though, we took, I don't know, how many lockers did we take out of that, Kristen?
So for men's lockers, we have 470 right now. The plan is for 470 as well.
So we took some out though.
Correct.
Yeah, so what you see here is 470. We took enough out to give us the same amount of card play room that the men have now. it was interesting, if you've never, ladies, you've never been there, guys, you probably don't know, but you have 2 phone booths in there. You have a shoe area and a library that is huge. So we basically took and we want to get rid of all that. We want to have a shoe area, which is here. We want to have all the good stuff, steam showers, but we've taken this and we're turning it into that. You know, ladies, if we do move forward with this, you may never see the guys again, but or maybe that's a good thing. No, so anyways, that's the men's lounge essentially. The guys, same thing, you know, we need to know, are we on the right track? I think we are. I think the finishes, you'll notice the finishes, I haven't touched them. I'd like for our interior people to come in and do another presentation. They sound a lot better than I do. I'm just trying to give you a flavor for the finishes and how we're laying the club out and some of the reasons behind doing it. Once again, please go back to your, you know, these are the finishes, faucets, and the things you're seeing here are actually things that they're recommending that we incorporate into the project. They're not just giving us fluff and say, you know, we look at this, it looks kind of nice. These are things that they're kind of pushing towards us for us to make decisions on. Full stalls, doors. I just thought that's it for the conceptual. And trust me, there's going to be a lot more. I don't want to really answer questions on the specific improvements because it's a little premature. That's why I'm going to encourage you to come to the roundtables because we can really have a good dialogue. You know, 10 to 15 people. We can talk about it. I can write down your questions, your comments, your likes, your dislikes. This was just something, I'm not even going to read it. It's just what the, you know, oh, this is what the other clubs are doing, so we should do it. No, ironically, there was a survey this past week. I think, Harvey, did you give me that?
Yep.
Yeah, Harvey gave me a survey. This is what the other clubs are doing, spending, whatever. What I see is what are our competitors doing? They're, you know, they're renovating their facilities. I know the GM at Whitecliff very well. They got some big projects. I'm almost done. I'll share this with you if you want to really look at it. In closing, a firm date has not been set. Firm budget has not been determined, although we're not foolish. We've got some ideas. Member engagement, please, please, please attend any of them, whether it's a town hall, roundtables, the surveys will come out eventually, a pulse survey, brochure, and then the things that we owe you, construction costs, financing, amortization, impacts on current assessments, phase 1, phase 2, and firm timelines. Okay, so, and if you have any general questions, the timeline, we are looking at, you know, mid to late 2026, probably an 8-month process for phase 1. Phase 2 is probably a year and 2 months, give or take, and that would happen kind of right after phase 1 finished up. That's the timeline. We do have some numbers, you know, we're looking at some numbers, but they incorporated it. Oh, you know what I didn't? What did I just do with that? Thank you. Because I know it's probably a question. Parking, anybody have trouble with parking here? So good news is in a couple weeks, tennis gets back 30-something spots. Okay, I know that's not a big number. We've got an opportunity and I received a bid today. We've got some plans for a parking area. You here right now? Don't want to give me a hard time. Good, she left. Good. The lake over by the golf where you take your cart down from the parking lot. That lake, that's the only area we have. Would give us another 60 spots if it was a block park, which is valet. I would probably make that a valet lot. And that way, if they block park, which means they kind of squeeze them in together, don't bang your cars up, but they can squeeze them in, it's going to open. So theoretically, if we could do this, get tennis open, we just added 90 spots. Sounds like a sales pitch, but it's your yes, ma'am.
How is that space classified? Is that considered an open space or a water space?
Where the lake is? Yeah, good question. So typically, you have 3 agencies involved, unfortunately. Lake Worth Drainage District, South Florida Water Management, and then good old Palm Beach County zoning and planning. Typically, when you take away, that's about 0.4 acres of water space, you have to put it back. Good news is, talking to our engineer and our golf course architect, we have about 1.2 acres of unused water credits that we found on the Victory Golf Course. So we wouldn't have to, first you think, okay, we have to dig another lake further out or something. Not the case. So it's platted, it's Glen Eagles property. It is platted as drainage, because you need that's why they want you to have the acreage. You want them to have somewhere to put the water in, and that's how it is. But because we have extra, and every lake here is connected. It's got culverts. That lake has a culvert. They would connect the lake on 18, believe it or not, to the lake at Tennis. And it's an underground, and then they would fill it in. So we can do it, yes.
My only concern is that you're taking an environmental space and you're turning it into hot. And
Yep.
those of us that don't have golf memberships are losing an attractive environmental space for looking at hot and parks.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably right. But that's what we have, that's the land we have. We've got, no, we don't. No.
It's classified as drainage.
There's just nothing that would require. Really, no, there's no approval needed other than your board's vote. No. But listen, I'm empathetic to that. It's one of those things though, you've got a lake there that is property we need. We've got people struggling to find parking. We don't have another solution. And so that's one of the things we're doing. Yes, sir. Yes.
Maintaining the footprint.
Correct.
You maintain the footprint of the building.
Yeah, yep.
External construction.
Question other than the ones so the question was, is there any external construction going on? We're maintaining the footprint of the building. Yes, we're maintaining the footprint of the building. We are building inside the confines where the water feature is, where the north waterfall, so really stays within those confines. But no, we're not adding. What we are doing right now is we're coming up with some concepts to try to bring some of the architectural elements across the street into the building. Make sense? So we're trying to create some facade, some improvements. So when you look at that beautiful new tennis center, you look over here and there's some redeeming qualities of this building as well. And we should have some conceptuals relatively soon there. These things, when we receive them, if they make good sense, we share them with you. We share them with you, we get your feedback. So please stay tuned. What else? Yes.
I was wondering if any consideration was given to providing additional outdoor dining areas that are perhaps attractive in terms of.
Yeah, good question. So as I mentioned earlier, the veranda, the area that I showed you that kind of looked out over the driving range, will have two options. It's fixed windows, or if we go nanos, you just opened up that whole full bar area. So yes, that would give you, it's indoor, outdoor, but it would be similar to nothing. It's probably nice as anything we have with the nano walls. So yeah. Yes.
Will there be any place to have shows?
Any place to have shows. As I said earlier, we have to rethink this, okay? Can we have a show in our main dining room? Possibly. We're not going to be schlepping chairs around though and moving tables. This stuff, this furnishings, what we're looking at, unless there's clamoring, we've got to rethink it. So now you have the Hall of Champions, you've got a lounge with the area for the band, you have the library, and you actually can open the lounge up into your dining room and you can have that dining room there. Are you going to have the ability to have a show for a dinner show, let's say, for 200? And how many people do we do, Reagan, normally? 200. We can do a dinner show in here. We have to rethink it though, folks. You know, for 3 shows a year, do we change the architectural layout of our dining room? We need to think, how can we use this club different, smarter, and still give you, you know, the nice attributes that hopefully I think that you're seeing in these presentations. But absolutely, we know what things are important. Tammy would be very upset if we didn't do that. Yes,
Where would you do things like this? You said that you wouldn't be able to move the furniture around, but what about meetings or speakers?
you might be
Where
sitting
would
at
you-
tables.
Sorry?
You might be sitting at tables. We're still looking at 2, so right now, I did a calculation, they're a little light on the chairs. So we need to figure out, and if you looked at the tables that they offer and the chairs, are they gonna work? Maybe not. So maybe we need to go with a little slimmer table. They have a lot of round tables. Do we have to go with square tables? But you know, it's not gonna be set up in theater style maybe. You may be sitting at tables and we're still gonna have 250 people here. But those are the changes, the things that we have to kind of digest, get used to. Do you want twice a year when you have a meeting, your annual and your golf meeting? Or do you want to have a dining room that you use the other 362 days a year and you enjoy it with your friends and your relatives and your other members? So, yes,
What type of roof will you have for the entire club, plus like the laundry area, etc.?
so you have flat roofs because I told you guys we're going to do flat roofs. So we're doing flat roofs. Yeah. Yes,
Is there any possibility of another elevator from the pool area? Because, you know, just this last week, seeing the people just trailing with water, or, you know, walking from the pool all
From
the way
the
down.
pool. I don't know how we can do it. Something like that, bring it to our roundtable meetings. I'd really have to get a little more information. We are looking at putting a walkway from the parking area by where your big generator is, your bike rack is, that you can come out of your car, down between there and into the bottom, as opposed to going up to go down. Listen, we wanted to put this fitness center in tennis, you wouldn't be dealing with us, just kidding. Yes, sir, Mr. Malinsky.
I'd like to leave the lakes alone
Mhm.
and those above the parking lots going up 2 or 3 or more.
So it's a good comment. I'll tell you what we've looked at. I had plans when I got here from 2001 or 2 for a parking structure, which basically, if you think about it, if you came out of valet, parked your car, you came out and you looked towards the tennis center and you cantilevered a lot right over, because the parking lot goes like this, down like that. If you put it right over the top, you can get about 100 extra spots. If we'd done it back when they had proposed, it would have been 1.7 million. Now it's 5.6. Now, the lot that I'm talking about is closer to $1.5 million, and you get 40 less spots than the $5.6 million parking. So, you know, I mean, I think the math is pretty easy. Listen, I probably love Mother Nature as much or more than anybody here, but sometimes, you know, you've got to break a couple of eggs. Yes.
Convert the roof into a basketball court for kids when they come.
The roof of the club?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Above the
yeah,
parking lot.
then we're looking at 7 million. I hear you, folks. There's a lot of different opportunities. Yes, Mrs. Ford. Always an opportunity there. Yes. That's the kind of things that we're gonna put in our notes and, you know, how do we increase bike parking? The question was, can we increase bike? Yeah, if you would ride your bikes here, we wouldn't have as much trouble with our parking. What other questions? You know, I really want you to, I'm not gonna answer a lot more because I want you to come to the roundtables. I'm strong arming you, but no, you can ask a question. Yes, comprehensive. Yeah, if you haven't taken the kitchen tour, Reagan, I'm sure would be more than happy to start providing some more tours so people can understand when we do this renovation. We're gutting the kitchen. Chef doesn't realize it, but we are going to use some of his equipment over. He thinks he's getting all new equipment. He's not getting all new equipment. Yes.
in the evening.
Absolutely. If we need to do them at 7 o'clock at night, you let us know because we will, 100%. Yes?
I just
Very-
had a thought, someone had mentioned it to me, I think it's not a bad idea. Some fans, maybe dining room, lounge.
Fans?
Do you have any fans?
Put it on our list. Let's put it on our list. I mean, I think there's probably some creative solutions that, yeah. Fans, someone asked me about just fans in general, keeping you cool in the dining room. Yes, ma'am. Yep, looking at shuttles. Kristen, Reagan, and I, we looked at some electric ones. They had about 100-mile range, so that's not going to work. We are truly looking at shuttles, 7 a.m., 4 p.m. It would have to go in a new budget. We'd have to cost it out. We'd have to get the labor involved. But making stops at each community, maybe 2 spots, do a loop, do it again. So, good news, folks, we do have brownies and cookies tonight, unlike the last time that I told you we had them. Listen, let's break. Help yourselves to the lounge. Oh, sorry, Mr. Benson. Sorry about that, Mr. Benson. No cookies yet. Stick around.
Good evening, I'm Greg Benson.
Sorry about that.
As you know, the board had its organizational meeting while you were having the presentation by Craig. And I wanted to let you know, because we just finished our meeting, that I will be serving as your next president. I'm also very, very pleased to inform you that we have a wonderful slate of officers. Zena Harowitz will be the first executive vice president. Richard Feldman, second vice president. Trudy Cleos, treasurer. Michael Wasserman, assistant treasurer. Roger Padover, secretary. And Barbara Moss, assistant secretary. I want to thank each of these individuals and the entire board for a very, very excellent organizational meeting. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of them and being your face up here so you can give me the call, stop me in the hall, ask me your questions. I'm more than happy to answer anything. And if I don't know the answer, I will certainly endeavor to find it for you. And I want to thank these officers who have agreed to serve for this year. And I don't want to keep you any longer from your cookies. So thank you all.
So can we do it now? All right, let's just do it.
So he said, I rang the bell, no one was here, but I'm like, well, no one told me where to look, you know? Like, is that that would have been a good arrangement. So thank you, yes, I was bad.
And you got some
I
rib
did.
though. What are you gonna do with the third one?
What am I gonna do with two of them? You think
Well, you have a husband
Please,
or a boyfriend.
please, here now. No.
More in there.